The call came at 2:17 a.m. My phone vibrated violently on the nightstand, dragging me from sleep with a jolt I'd never forget. The voice on the other end was panicked, almost shaking. "Sir, there's been an accident. Your wife. She's been in a crash. She's being rushed to the hospital." I didn't pause. I didn't think. I grabbed my keys, threw on a jacket, and ran to the car, my heart pounding so hard I was sure she could hear it through the receiver. The city streets blurred as I sped through the night, every red light a dagger in my chest. When I arrived, the emergency room was a flurry of movement. Nurses and doctors rushed past, calling out instructions I barely understood. And then I saw her, Claire, lying on the stretcher, unconscious, tubes and monitors crisscrossing her small body. I reached for her hand, but a nurse stopped me gently. "Wait, we need to stabilize her first." Minutes stretched into an eternity. I paced the waiting area, my mind a storm of fear and disbelief. How could this happen? We had been arguing earlier in the evening, petty things about bills, schedules, but nothing that would make me imagine the next hours would become a nightmare. Finally, a doctor appeared. Dr. Hayes, calm but with a weight in his eyes that made my stomach sink. "Mr. Thompson?" he asked. "Yes," I replied, my voice trembling. "How is she?" He took a deep breath. "She's stable for now, but there's something you need to know." Something I needed to know? I braced myself. "There's more than just the injuries," he said. "We ran some tests because of a routine panel we conduct in trauma cases, and we discovered something that complicates everything." I felt my chest tighten. "What? What is it?" Dr. Hayes hesitated, a professional pause that made the world shrink around me. "Your wife, she's been pregnant, and the condition of the pregnancy is critical." I felt as if the ground had been ripped from under me. Pregnant? How could this be? She had never mentioned it. Never. I don't understand," I stammered. "She didn't—" "I understand this is difficult," the doctor continued. "But the trauma from the crash, combined with complications, makes this extremely dangerous. We need to prepare for every possibility." Every possibility. The words echoed like a death knell. I sat beside her, holding her hand when they finally allowed me to, feeling the rapid beeping of the monitor under my palm, the faint rise and fall of her chest. I thought of all the things I hadn't said, all the arguments that suddenly seemed trivial, all the moments I'd taken for granted. Hours passed. Procedures, medications, tense whispers behind closed doors, and then came the update I had been silently dreading. "It's not looking good," Dr. Hayes said. "The injuries are severe, and there's internal bleeding we can't fully control. We're doing everything we can, but..." The silence that followed was worse than the words themselves. I squeezed her hand, willing her to wake, to move, to tell me she was okay. But then the doctor added something I could never have anticipated. "There's one more thing. From her medical history, something you should know. She had a condition we weren't aware of. A heart abnormality. It's possible it contributed to the severity of the crash. And..." He swallowed. "It complicates emergency procedures. Any surgery or intervention carries extreme risk." I felt the world tilt sideways. Everything was unraveling, fast, merciless, irreversible. As I sat there, my mind raced. I thought of our life together, our dreams, our arguments, the laughter, the tears, and I realized something even more profound. Secrets can be fatal. Not just the medical ones, but the emotional ones too. The unspoken fears, the undisclosed issues, the truths we hide even from those we love, they have a way of surfacing when you least expect them, often with devastating consequences. I stayed with her through the night, whispering words I didn't think she could hear. I begged her to fight, to stay, to come back. And somewhere, deep inside that unconscious form, I hoped she did. But sometimes, hope is not enough. By dawn, the medical team was preparing for the worst. I held her hand, feeling the life I had known slip away slowly, painfully. And then, in a quiet room in the early light of morning, it happened. The monitors flatlined. Everything ended. I sat there, numb, heartbroken, staring at the body of the woman I loved, the child we would never know, the future we'd imagined forever lost. The secret the doctor had revealed, the pregnancy, the heart condition, the fragility I hadn't known about, made the crash not just tragic, but final. It wasn't anger. It wasn't fate. It was the cruel intersection of choices, circumstances, and hidden truths. In the hours that followed, I replayed everything in my mind. Every argument, every smile, every silence. I thought about how fragile life is, how quickly it can be altered, and how a single moment, sometimes outside our control, can undo years in an instant. That day, I learned that some secrets are deadly, some truths arrive too late, and that grief is not just about losing someone, it's about losing all the tomorrows you thought you had together.